guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Volvo S60. This is the third generation of the Volvo S60. Straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay. It gets hydraulic struts. Just one engine option for India, says Volvo right there. There's insulation there too. And the design of this car will remind you of the S90 because the S60 is a mini S90. It's all LED units, look beautiful at night. I love the DRL and of course chrome on the inside. It gets a headlight washer as well, fog lamps. Coming to the side is when you realize that this is the S60 and not the S90, although a lot of the body panels will remind you of the S90. In fact, it's just a mini S90 as such. However, you know what, it's smaller in terms of size when compared to the S90, but looks so freaking brilliant. The wheels are 18 inches. Tire profile is actually on the lower side, 235 45 18s. Love the design of the alloy wheels, very subtly and well done design language on this car. And you know what, at night you get lights coming out from here, sort of puddle lamps. Ground clearance seems decent. The design is where Volvo is nailing it completely. Okay, you get a shark fin antenna, you get a larger than normal sunroof as well, chrome surrounds on the window area, and at the rear you get the C-shaped tail lights, which will again remind you of the S90. Now this S60 obviously is the T4 inscription variant. You get rear parking sensors, of course, you get a reverse parking camera here, and you get functional exhaust too, dual exhaust. Let me show you the lights. Okay, the rear fog is being turned on right now, looks beautiful. See the indicator, well, that's also pretty nice on this car. Let's open the boot of the vehicle. Boot carrying capacity seems kind of decent, but the carpet or the mat is not put right now. Spare wheel is smaller in terms of size. It's like really very small. It's 125/70/18. Fit finish levels are very good. Okay, you get a 12-volt charging socket right there, and you can actually access the boot from the inside. Let's close the boot. Okay, you can lock it from here, but hey, who's gonna do that? I love the design of this Volvo. It is so freaking elegant. Wow. Okay, let's open the door. The doors feel really heavy. Quality levels are fantastic as well. Door pockets are not the biggest though, kind of small in terms of size. And you know what, there seems to be decent amount of space. Seat recline angle is good. You get ISOFIX child seat mounts as well. You actually sit quite low, because of which under thigh support is very much compromised on this car. Noreen, did you turn off the air conditioning?
Yes.
Under thigh support is kind of on the poor side, but there's good amount of knee room and leg room on offer, and of course headroom is decent as well. The seat is actually on the lower side, which actually affects the under thigh support. You get a center armrest with storage space here, and you can open this. There's more storage space. There are cup holders too, so very functional armrest. Meanwhile, you can access the boot from here. I think you can. Okay, you need to press some buttons here. It's not going to open so smoothly, so we'll figure that out some other day. Meanwhile, you get 3 adjustable headrests. That's again a nice touch. And okay, so you can fix stuff there too. Lot of functional bits on this car, but we'll come to that in a bit. But somehow the headrests seem kind of small. Okay, this is not an adjustable headrest. Only the center headrest is adjustable, which is kind of weird. This is a fixed headrest at the rear. Not so impressive. Plenty of airbags inside this car. You get a hook, you get a handle, you get lights as well. But because the roof isn't that big, you don't really enjoy the roof at the rear. So yeah, love the way this treatment has been done. It says OFFV on this particular thing. Rear AC vents on the B pillar, rear AC vents here too. And you know what, it gets a 4-zone climate control air conditioning system. So yeah, it has 4 zones, which is fantastic. We're just going to turn it off for the moment. You also get 2 USB-C charging sockets here. No scooped out seat back, but magazine holders are given there too. Yeah, plenty of nice bits on this car, inside this car, and you can see the dashboard design also looks very good indeed. Let's quickly get to the front. This car has, I think, a 60-liter fuel tank, and it should return a fuel economy of somewhere between 7 to 9 kilometers per liter, depending on your driving style. I think officially rated it should return somewhere around 14 kilometers per liter, but all the best getting that, says Volvo right here. Seats are extremely comfortable, and you know what, you obviously get electric adjust for both the front seats along with memory function. Hey Nurain, what's up? Alright, let's get back to the vlog. We didn't even go out of the vlog although. Okay, these are the buttons for the power window controls. This is for the child lock function for the rear doors as well as the rear windows too. It says Harman Kardon right there. Love the chrome treatment. Okay, the door pockets could have been bigger. You get a proper dead pedal there. Now this is, I think, for the headlight leveler. This is to open the boot of the car. Headlight leveler and opening the boot of the car. Seats are very nice and comfortable. You can increase the under thigh support without any issue. Yeah, there you see. Under thigh support is not an issue at the front. Now since I moved it all the way, let me save it to my setting here. That's saved. Dashboard design is lovely. But this screen feels a bit small to me. Yeah, the screen is a bit small to me. Let's turn off the air conditioning. Air conditioning controls are also very nice. Now this is a 9-inch screen. Now because I'm so used to the Hector's bigger 10.4-inch screen, I find it small. But this is an all digital 12.3-inch instrument cluster. It's all digital. It's fantastic in the way it operates. In fact, let's do one thing. Let's turn off the car. I love the start engine stop button as well. Super duper awesome, super slick. In fact, this is the dry mode selector. Press this button and you can select the dry modes, which will not happen right now because the car is turned off. Let's do one thing. Let's turn on the car. And whenever you turn on the car, it'll remind you of all the safety features it has. So this is the normal key of the car. The other orange key which I was having in my pocket, where is it? This particular key is the safety key of the car. Yeah, this is the safety key. Look at the kind of quality of keys as well. Kind of leather. It is actually leather. Let's unlock the car. Here we unlock the car. Right now you can also see the navigation data in the center. So it shows you navigation in the center. This is so much like BMW cars probably. Now this screen is very slick to use. Only thing is connecting Bluetooth is not the easiest, and then deleting something from the Bluetooth is also not the easiest, which is something I didn't really like much. Okay, there's a wireless charging pad here, twin cup holders, and when you close this now, it is such a nice treatment. Reminds you of Jaguar cars and works very smoothly. 12-volt charging socket. Look at the smoothness with which it operates. Okay, just check this out. Yeah, that's the smoothness with which it operates. Electric parking brake, auto hold function, drive mode selector. There are 4 drive modes: eco, comfort, individual, and dynamic. Basically, what do? They alter the engine and the gearbox. That's about it. It doesn't get adaptive suspension, of course. There are no adaptive dampers. The gear lever is towards the driver's side, of course. And below the front center armrest, there's storage space where I have put my mask, sanitizer, and glares. Okay, there is a USB charging socket. There are 2 USB charging sockets here, which is a nice touch. Let's do one thing. Let's play with someone's seat. So you can actually adjust the co-passenger seat if you so want, and you can move it behind. Actually, this is something which Mercedes has pioneered with its cars, but it's very nice to irritate the co-passenger by moving the seat and reducing the leg room on offer. Now this seems like a cool glove box. Glove box size is also big enough. Love the quality. Look at the finish in this Volvo. Really very nice. Super duper awesome. Now this is a frameless inside rear view mirror. Obviously it gets the auto dimming function. Here you get a mirror along with a light. Same is the case here as well. You get a mirror along with a light, and these are the controls for the light, so you can just turn them on like this. The sunroof, let's open that. Here you see it is opening. Now it is bigger than the usual ones, but it is still smaller when compared to a full size big panoramic roof. That's about it. And let's open the roof completely. One button press, it kind of tilts. Press it once again and it completely opens. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe press it once again, it opens further. No, that's about it. It won't open any further. Let's close it. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Brings in a lot of airy feeling inside the cabin. Now you get all the car functions in one screen, that is ESC sport mode, park assist, start stop system, wiper position, blah blah blah, cornering lights, active bending lights, lane keeping aid which puts you in your lane all the time, so you have to little bit fight with it when you're making maneuvers, changing lanes actually. Road sign information will actually tell you what is the speed limit. Over here it tells you, saying 60 kilometers per hour is the speed limit here. You can adjust the co-passenger seat, cruise control, wireless phone charger, which is collision avoidance, which is basically something like city safety, which Volvo likes to call. So it is not the easiest to use, but it's a very slick system nonetheless. Now because this car gets something known as Harman Kardon's beautiful audio system, let's play an audio right away.
और उसमें जैव पदार्थ की उपलब्धता बढ़ाने के लिए
It's established that the radio has pretty bad songs to play, which is kind of disappointing. 4-zone climate control system, obviously. You can lock and unlock the doors. Even the co-passenger can lock and unlock the doors. Now let's get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera, which has a zoom view too, and you can decide if you want the lines to be seen or not. Come on. Yeah, turn off the zoom view. You can turn on and off the lines too. That's also pretty slick on this car. Now I love the steering wheel. These are the buttons for the cruise control. These are the buttons for the audio system. This is for voice command, and this is to browse through this. Okay, you can see there's so much information, all the regular information. It shows you right there itself. Yeah, plenty of information. The instrument cluster is actually nice to read. All digital unit. The quality of the switches, the quality of the air conditioning vents, everything is so fantastic inside this car. Now obviously you get automatic wipers, automatic headlights, lot of spray on offer, and if you notice, okay, you can see the headlight washer also spraying a lot of fluid. Now this spray comes from inside the wipers. Yeah, you don't see where the nozzle is because there is none. These are the controls for the headlights, automatic headlights inside this car. So fantastic in terms of quality, feel good factor, fit finish, and obviously in terms of features as well. So pretty well balanced. And the horn, that's also pretty good. But how is it to drive? Well, let's get going right away. All right, we are all set to go, which means getting into drive mode. getting the drive mode into dynamic, and we also have to get the traction control into sport, which is ESC sport mode, gearbox into sport as well, rather sport or manual, whatever you want to call it. Of course, air conditioning has to be turned off, air conditioning off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, rev still 2,500 RPM, and off we go. Red line slightly more than slightly lesser than 6,500 RPM, and I love the way this car drives. It's so fun. Obviously not as fun as the BMW 3 Series, the 330i, or even the Jaguar XE for that matter, but the balance between ride and handling is stupendous on this car. It goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.1 seconds, but it doesn't feel as quick as it turns out on paper. 7.1 seconds is really very quick for the Volvo S60. What is powering this car? It's a 2-liter engine. I'm sure anyone can guess, because Volvo only makes 2-liter 4-cylinder engines. Nothing more, nothing less at the moment. Now this is the T4, which is the base variant, base engine actually. Yeah, there's a T5, there's a T6, there's a T8 abroad, but none of that is available in India. They went for only one engine option, which is the T4, which is a non-hybrid. Yeah, there is no hybridness here. It's a complete petrol engine. It gets turbocharging, produces 190 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output is 300 Newton meters, which comes in at a rather low 1400 RPM and peaks at 4000 RPM. So that's a wide torque band. That's the reason why the mid-range is so freaking exciting in this car. It feels really punchy in the mid-range, pulls hard and strong as well. But you know what? It could have done with slightly better low-end grunt, because there is some amount of turbo lag which can be felt, but for the most part you have nothing to complain, because the engine actually sounds sporty in the higher end of the rev range. So past 5000 RPM it becomes vocal in a good way, and then it also shifts gears quite fast. It gets an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Of course, manual control of things can be done using the Tiptronic function, but there are no paddle shifters on offer, which is a bit disappointing considering Volvo has given this headlight washers. Remove the headlight washers, I can clean my own headlights, but please give us paddle shifters. That would have been so much more fun. Now, I rather drive this in automatic mode, not in manual mode, because it doesn't hold on to a gear any which way. So what's the point of a manual mode here? That said, it just is that involvement factor which comes into play. So this engine, which is a T4, is a little disappointing when you compare it to what the other engines could have offered, especially the T6 and the T8. The T8 is actually a hybrid, or even the T6 is a hybrid, but disappointingly though, this is a non-hybrid, and that also affects the fuel economy of this car. Volvo has already said no to diesel engines, so there are no diesel engines from Volvo anymore, and soon they will go more into hybrid zone, and then they will eventually go full electric. So Volvo's focus is completely on safety, and now it's also on saving the environment, and that saving the environment bit is a bit of a paradox. You know why? This car is capable of going till 220 km per hour as their top speed. Volvo has actually written in the brochure top speed limited to 180 km per hour and a tick mark there, and I'm like, that is weird. Why would you want to do that? It's like I can type 100 words per minute, but in my CV I write 60 words per minute. Makes no sense at all, now does it? The brakes on this car are good enough, but you know what, it could have done with slightly better bite and positive feel on the pedal. And you know, even if you don't apply full brakes, now the seat belts unnecessarily get tensioned. Safety first. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Okay, traction control is off. See this? It's in sport actually. Slight amount of wheel spin, not much, although this is a front wheel drive car. Yeah, a front wheel drive car at this price range, not very exciting, because the BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes C-Class's real USP is the rear wheel drive platform. But hey, this is the SPA. It's based on the SPA, which is the Scalable Product Architecture platform, which also underpins other Volvo cars, like of course the S90, and this S60 is a mini S90 in multiple ways. I love the fact that the suspension is slightly on the stiffer side, the whole chassis on the stiffer side, but it's not too stiff as such, so the ride is brilliant. The handling is also good, although not as engaging as its German rivals, but still good enough, impressive enough, and the steering is also having good amount of feel. So this is actually a fun car to drive, and there's so much grip on offer only because it's a front wheel drive now. Then it has this understeer, near limit understeer, which is a bit bothersome. It likes to change lane, doesn't feel hairy at all, and obviously offers a lot of grunt too. Whenever you need it, it will give you a punch ahead, but it just doesn't rev as fast enough. It could have done with, what do I say, how do I say it, how do I put it, a little bit more enthusiasm when you want to push it hard. I mean, a little bit more drama, that would be really awesome. And the drama could be more in terms of the sound and of course having wheel spins. Driving this car in the city, no problem at all. It feels light and easy to twirl the steering wheel. Some wheel spin we finally got from this car, and then we are going to get hardened with the brakes. Really nice brakes. Only thing is, it could have inspired a little bit more confidence. Finally some wheel spin, so that inherent stiffness can be felt on bad roads, because a little bit of the noise can be heard inside, but for the most part the suspension is really well damped. You can't hear much on the inside, which is certainly a very good thing. So this Volvo S60 is being offered in a lower trim. Inscription, we needed the R design. T4, we needed the T8, or at least the T6. So what is Volvo up to here? Well, first and foremost, all of you already know that Volvo is owned by a Chinese car maker called Geely, or Geely. Geely doesn't sound right, Faisal, what are you saying? Okay, it's owned by Geely from China, of course. But this car is made in the USA. What the yeah, and this is a Swedish brand. So you see, globalization is happening on a large scale. That said, it's a very likable car. It's not the most fun to drive car, it's not the most dynamic car, it's not the most comfortable car, but it is a good balance of everything, which is the reason why you would love the Volvo S60. And of course, considering Volvo has cut corners here and there, they're going to price this very attractively. I reckon the on-road price of this car is going to be under rupees 50 lakhs, which will give a tough fight to the segment leading BMW 3 Series, the 330i. Alright, let me admit the gearbox is not the fastest shifting, so things have been tuned towards comfort as such. Actually, the chassis is on the stiffer side, this SPA, for safety reasons of course, and it's got a slew of safety tech as well. Okay, what does city safety do? It obviously warns you in case you're going to meet with a collision or someone is ahead of you and you're going too fast to bang into them. However, it can detect pedestrians, it can detect a slew of things including large animals and obviously vehicles too. So yeah, Volvo is focused so much on safety, autonomous braking and whatnot. Everything is there inside this car. The only irk I have is 180 km/h speed limit. Limited speed on a car of this price is fine in India. No one's going to buy this in Germany, absolutely not, because even hatchbacks there drive at 200 km/h. So yeah, Volvo thinks that a crash at 180 km/h is going to be safer than a crash at 200 km/h. Maybe there's method to the madness. I don't understand that, but at least don't put it in a brochure as a big feature. That's not a feature. That's like you're cutting someone's arms and be like, you know what? Now you're safe. Now you can't kill yourself. So guys, this is my vlog of the Volvo S60 Inscription T4. If you liked it, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. But before that, we should ask our guest, what does she feel about the car? So tell us, Noreen, how do you like the car?
Really nice.